Cheers, welcome to Kim's Kitchen. Happy Friday. Thanks for checking in today, and please subscribe to Kim's Kitchen on YouTube and check out my other social media platforms, TikTok and on my Instagram stories. So tonight we're going to be making salmon tacos, a spicy salmon taco with a slaw and some grilled broccoli on the Blackstone. This recipe came from my sister and I absolutely love it. We've had it for a couple years and it's kind of a staple in our house. The rub that I use on the salmon, I use it on chicken, I use it on other fish. It's absolutely delicious. So let's get started here. To start the whole process, I have my salmon patties out and I am going to rub them down with a little olive oil. Just gonna lightly brush it with some extra virgin olive oil, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the rub on it, and both sides actually. So I will quickly do this so we can finish up. Hope everybody's had a great week. I know I have. It's been kind of busy. It's pretty hot out, right? So my rub is salt and pepper, of course, cayenne pepper, cumin, chili powder. That's about it. So I'm gonna put that down in the comments so you'll have this recipe so you can use it too. So I'm gonna rub that in. Sometimes I make it a double batch on that recipe that I'm going to post, just because I like a lot of seasonings on it, because I kind of like a little bit of the spice. So I go ahead and put that all. I'm gonna use the entire spice rub that I made, and I'm going to put that on the salmon, and then we're gonna set that aside, and I will go ahead and work on the rest of my things. Now, we're gonna use a slaw that we put on the tacos, and I totally cheated. Had a package of the broccoli that's already cut up in florets. But it's Friday, right? I'm ready to sit back and relax and not have to work too hard. So it's kind of okay to cheat sometimes. It works out really well. So now I'm gonna wash my hands and I'm gonna set this aside, and then we'll get ready to do the slaw and get ready for the rest of the evening. Okay, so now I'm going to mix up the sauce for the slaw. It does have a little chipotle in it, so it does have a little heat, but it has mayonnaise and the slaw and lime juice, so it kind of cools it down. It's not super spicy. There's a little spice on the salmon, but when you put it all together, it's just a perfect combination. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my items that I got from Bella, from my friend Tammy Danielson. Bella is a store in LeClaire, Iowa, so go ahead and check it out on Facebook. She sent these to me, so thank you, Tammy. I absolutely love them. So I always use a little Hellmann's Mayo, so it's about 1/4 of a cup of Hellmann's mayonnaise. I'm gonna make this sauce up real quick for you. I'm not super precise on this because sometimes I use a little bit more. You know, when you get a package of this shredded slaw, it's more than 3 cups, but it's not quite 4. So I usually just dump the whole thing in. So I put a little bit of extra mayonnaise on it, see? Then I go ahead and use some chopped cilantro, which this is another cooling agent. So it's about 1/4 of a cup, but I put a little bit more in than 1/4 of a cup. Couple tablespoons of lime juice. So again, this cute little gadget that Tammy sent me, it's a teaspoon and a tablespoon on one side, teaspoon on the other side. It's so cool. So a couple tablespoons of lime juice. Holy cow, that's a hard lime. So we're gonna squeeze it like this. And you know what? About 1 lime is a couple tablespoons. So I'm just gonna go ahead and squeeze this lime in and not measure it out. Sometimes I just kind of, I'm a guess and go by taste girl. So, especially since I make these quite often, I'll go ahead. So go ahead and put this lime in, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of sugar in it and a little bit of salt, of course. You know, I'm not a salt girl, but I want you to know that salt really just brings out the flavor and it accents. You don't need too much, but salt really does bring out the flavor of the food and really helps you taste it and just accents it. So when people say they don't cook with salt at all, like I said, I don't really add a ton of salt. Once it gets to the table, I don't add any, but I cook with salt because it does accent your food. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that lime in, and then I am going to measure out on the teaspoon of this chipotle because that might get a little spicy. So there is the chipotle. And then I'm going to put a little sugar in there also. A little sugar and a little salt. And then I'm going to mix this up. So I'm going to put this over my 3 cups of slaw, the shredded cabbage that I bought pre-packaged, so I have it ready tonight. And I'm going to put that all together, and I'm going to pop it in the fridge, and then I'm going to head out to the Blackstone. So I'll see you outside. Okay, so before I head out, I'm going to use the broccoli florets that I bought already cut up and stuff. I'm going to throw a little bit of olive oil on it, and then I'm going to toss it a little bit, mix it up, and I'm going to throw some salt on it. That's all I'm going to do for seasonings tonight on my broccoli, because I have so much flavor and so much stuff going on with these salmon tacos that I'm going to just kind of do these as plain as possible. So little olive oil and salt, it's fantastic. Okay, so as always, I'm putting a little coconut oil on my grill. It won't come off today, but that's how it goes. So I'm gonna rub that in a little bit. Got the grill pretty hot right now, so I'm gonna throw this broccoli on, let it saute a little bit. I kind of have them in bigger chunks, but that's kind of how I like them. Obviously, if you put them in smaller chunks, they cook a little faster, but this is good. Oh my gosh, it's so hot out tonight. Thank goodness, so I'm keeping it classy with my White Claw in a wine glass. So, as that sautés, now with my salmon, I'm only gonna put them on for about 4 minutes per side. So, the broccoli obviously is gonna take a little longer than the salmon. So, I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit. And I'll put these salmon right there on the grill. And remember how I talked about the heat is right above where the dial is below, because that's right where that burner is. So here's the salmon. And I'm gonna set my internal head timer for 4 minutes. Now, people think a lot of times that you have to cook salmon longer than you actually do, because you don't. Like, it gets a little dry if you do. So I'm gonna put it 4 minutes each side, let my broccoli saute a little bit. I'm gonna keep making sure I saute it around, but my Blackstone, love it. So if you're in the market for a grill, go ahead and get a Blackstone, because it's kind of fun. I obviously have a gas grill, I have a Weber grill, but the Blackstone's pretty great. So I can cook so many things on it at one time. Even if I wanted to throw some potatoes on here, there's plenty of room. So I ended up getting the 42-incher, I think. So, sauteing up some of this broccoli. We'll just let that sit a little while. And I'm gonna zoom in on the salmon in a little while and show you how the change of colors, which you can kind of tell that it's done. So again, you don't have to cook salmon as long as you think. I'm gonna do these 4 minutes on each side. Then I'm gonna break it apart when we get inside so you can see what the inside looks like and the texture is of the salmon. So that way you kind of know when it's done. Okay. I want to point out the difference in the color of the salmon. See how that's getting kind of white and that's pink on the top? So I don't want it to get completely white all the way through, but see how that, when it's ready to flip, it's easier to get off the grill. So that color, it's about time to flip right now. So there you go. Okay, it's ready to come up. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this broccoli up with my, I'm sure some of you noticed, you Chiefs fan, my Chiefs spatula. This is from the big kids. They gave it to their dad for Christmas this year, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the broccoli up. And then I'm gonna put the salmon up too. And I'm gonna put it up inside. And I'll show you how these tacos are gonna go. I can't wait to eat them. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the inside of the salmon before I put together the taco for you. So if you see, there's a little white here, and then there's a little pinker in the middle. Now, that is plenty done. See how it just falls apart? A lot of people, they think that might not be enough, but if you focus in on it, it is. It's absolutely perfect, and this will make your salmon moist every single time. So, I always buy the Mission Street Tacos. So I buy these tiny little taco shells, then the tortilla shells. Then I can eat 3 or 4 of them, right? Doesn't count as much. Okay, I'm gonna break this all apart here. And then I am going to put it right on the tortilla. Just like that. And I'm gonna throw a little of the slaw in there. Look at that. You guys, this is so good. And I'm gonna go ahead and make up another one. A little more salmon on there. Little salmon. The dog's barking in the background. Little more slaw. Like, I like a lot of slaw, so I might go ahead and put that off to the side just in case I want more. Throw a little of these crunchy broccolis on it. This is what I am having for dinner. So check it out, you guys. These salmon tacos with a cilantro spicy slaw. And of course, I'm having another White Claw. Have a great week, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next Friday.